Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a little bit since I posted a video. I apologize for that. This job is going to be putting new brakes on the old Prius here. Going to do new rotors and pads and rotate the tires. Just a regular brake job. Nothing fancy other than ceramic pads. But the current setup I have, if you can see in there, it's got come on, focus. Drilled and slotted rotors, both front and rear. And I put those on. I know they're performance brakes on a Prius, but I might not be able to take off fast, but I could stop fast. They worked great. I put these things on at 75,000 miles on this car. And right now it is sitting at 200,000 miles. And those are the same brake rotors and pads. Due to the regenerative braking from the Prius, it is a lifetime between brake pad changes. It's amazing. So we'll see how this goes. I'll put the new rotors and pads and probably last another 200,000. Thing still runs like a champ. Okay, today's arsenal of choice is going to be half-inch impact, a breaker bar, my jack stands, and then the brake pads and rotors, rotors themselves. I'll drop a link in the description to these because for front and rear, including shipping from eBay, was really cheap. I don't have the number offhand, but I'll update it in the video here. But it is cheaper to just buy new rotors than to take yours down and have them turned, if they even still do that. But being that these were slotted and drilled anyway, I don't think you can turn those, but I could be wrong. But all right, we're going to get it up on jack stands, pull the wheels and tires off, and we'll go from there. So, in about 3, 2, 1. Okay, she's on her jack stands now. And I just realized one thing that I did not do before getting all the tires off the ground was I like to take the breaker bar and loosen all the lug nuts first. Otherwise, you're battling the tire rolling. Oh well. Lesson learned again. Okay, next step, tires come off. I'm gonna set these two back ones. Well, I'm gonna flip-flop them so I don't get them mixed up after I take them off. So, all right, next step, tires. All right, tires are off. Show you what we're working with here. Like I said before, put these on at 75,000 miles. And actually there's, let's see if I can get this flash on. Actually, you can see the pad in there. It's a decent amount of life left on them. But I just wanted to do it because the front's low, this is the rear. The front is worn down a little bit lower or closer to the squeak sensor. And I thought I could hear a little bit of a grinding, so I'm like, you know what? I don't want to push my luck. This is the kiddo's car now, so he drives this thing like it's not a Prius. He thinks it's a Supra, and I don't know. But I'll take care of it as good as I can until he can get something better on his own. But in the meantime, he's got to deal with the old Prius, no matter what type of image that might put out there for people. We love this car though. But where's that flash at? Oh, let's see. Get in there on the front and see the pad. Focus. Yeah, it's a little closer. Let me get straight on there. Can't really see it that well up here, but there's our squeak sensor. I can't see it on the inside. Sorry about that close up, but all right. So only thing I didn't show on my tool list is the metrics. I think it's a 14 millimeter to hold the caliper on. Just recently put struts on this car. I did not do a video on that. I should have. Did front and rear struts. Once again, another eBay purchase. That was fun. The front was actually easier than the rear, believe it or not. The rear's just shocks, but to get to that top bolt on the 2010 to 13, I think it is, they on anything after 13, they put an access little area in the hatchback, a little plastic cap that'll flip up and show you the bolt. Well, that would have been nice. They did not do that for the 2010, so you got to take the whole carpet kit out of the back, take the spare tire, all that's got to come out. Basically looks like a race car, which I was joking with the kiddo. I'm like, look man, I'm making this into a race car. I got the look. So anyway, that's done. Let's get going on this. I'm gonna get my 14mm ratchet out and a couple other tools and C-clamp so I can push that bring the calipers back in. I'm gonna pop the hood, remove the cap off the brake master cylinder reservoir, so I keep an eye on that fluid so it doesn't overflow. Once I start bringing that caliper in, I'll go over all that. Stay tuned. All right, I used the C-clamp, and as you can see, this piston is now flush with the body, so it pushed all the way back in. Nice. And now I'll show you just this one caliper, how much fluid that added. And we're already at almost to max. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this. And once it starts filling up, I probably am gonna have to extract some out with a syringe. Little safety note, wear gloves. Do not get that stuff on your hands. I'm not sure if this one's mineral oil based, but other types, and possibly this one, if you get it on the paint, it will remove the paint. It will bubble it up and the paint will fall off just like paint stripper. All right, I'm gonna keep going. One thing I forgot to say was this bracket has to come off because I forgot I'm doing the rotors. If you were just doing pads, this is all you'd have to do, throw it back together. But I'm doing rotors, so I gotta take these out. These are 17mm, if I'm not mistaken. That comes out of the way, then I can pull the rotor off and put the new one on. Driver's side front is done. Tires back on. Everything's done. I just gotta torque the lug nuts once I get it down on the ground, but I'm gonna continue on to the passenger side now and do it all over again. Do the same thing. Get this side done, then I'll move on to the back and call it a day. All right, I did end up finding my synthetic caliper grease, and I took the driver's side back off because I wanted to do it right. And I'm gonna put a little bit of grease in here on these surfaces on front and back. Throw this one back together and move on to the next one. But something good to not skip over. You know, you want everything to be lubricated. That way when you let your foot off the brake, the pads will release easier, you know, less wear and tear. Plus my OCD wouldn't let me continue without putting that grease on there. So all right, we're at the back now. It's gonna be the same thing basically. Take these two out, 2 bolts, get the caliper out, and then there's a caliper bracket back here. I got to take that loose. Yeah, to get that caliper bracket out from around that rotor. All right, that worked. The bolt's out. I got the bracket off. Now I'm going to take the old clips out. The rear pads actually look good. There's still a lot of life left, which is typical. Your rears normally last a lot longer, but you can see here the built-on squeak sensor. There's quite a bit of life left before it gets down to this little metal piece that'll rub on the rotor. But all right, let's keep going. All right, on your rear caliper, to get the piston to go back in, you can't use the C-clamp. These actually screw in, so spray some WD-40 or penetrating oil around this rubber boot, and then go around the edge of that boot with a screwdriver. I wish I could do it like this here. Go around, you know, get the screwdriver in there, and then just kind of go around. Make sure that it's not stuck to the center piece here, because when you spin it, you don't want to tear this rubber boot. So you want that oil to get in there, make it slick. And then stand by. Okay, see if I can do this with one hand. get you some good old trusty long needle nose pliers, and then just stick them in there and use them like a wrench and twist. And just keep going. I can't remember if it's right hand threaded or left hand, but I'm just going to keep going until that's all the way back inside there. I can't do it with one hand, but hopefully you guys get the point. I'm going to screw that all the way in until it's as far as it'll go. Stand by. All right, so I was able to screw that in. Got that all seated. I already put some caliper grease on that stuff, but you want to make sure that you have a notch. This notch is up, just where my finger is, aligned just like that, because the back of your brake pad has this notch in it that has to go in there. And also make sure you put the pad with the squeak sensor on the inside of the car, not on the outside. And the next challenge is this old rotor is actually stuck on there pretty good, but I'm going to use a bolt in that hole and one in that hole, and I'm going to use my impact. I'm going to drive those bolts in, and it should pull this caliper off. You see it's pretty rusty right here. I'm going to treat it with some good old PV Blaster and see if it comes right off. We're in Indiana, so we get some snow, so we got a little bit of rusting, but not bad. All right, driver's side's done. Throw the tire on and get her off these jack stands. All right, she's all done, on the ground, torqued, caps on, ready for a test drive. If you've enjoyed this video and if it helped you guys out any, please like and subscribe. And until next, thanks for watching.